Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, traders. This is the Ichimoku weekly wrap-up from CloudChartist. I'm going to try to be as quick and as efficient as possible for those of you who have short attention spans. It is now May 29th. This analysis is for the weekly candles ending on Friday, May 27th. We're looking at the ES chart. We see that we put in a very bullish candle last week after putting in a long-legged doji candle the prior week, which was a potential trend change. I mentioned that we would need to see a higher high and a higher low in order to have the trend change from this downtrend to uptrend, which happened. We closed at the highs, very bullish candle. If we do get a pullback, we can expect it to hold the 2062.25 10% level. Move on to CL. CL stopped its ascent at an interesting place. The Chikou, this red line here representing price time shifted 26 periods into the past, ran into the Kijun Sen at 49.79 thereabouts, and we see that the price made it up to a high of 50.21. So not too far above that, and then we got a pullback and closed underneath the Kijun Sen here. So I'm looking for a potential doji sideways consolidation action inside this narrow part of the cloud here, and possibly even a pullback that might break and then hold the cloud. If we do get more upside, the cloud is up here at around 51.65. Maybe a little bit. Yeah, around 51.65 may provide resistance if we do get an up move in the coming week. And moving along to, let's look at NASDAQ. NASDAQ had an extremely bullish week last week. After the prior week, it bounced from below the cloud underneath the Kijun Sen here and closed above the cloud. I was looking for the cloud to hold as support, and you see that the cloud was a nice rising cloud, so offering higher and higher support. If we do get a pullback in the NASDAQ, we can expect the Tenkan Sen here, the flat Tenkan Sen at 44.2775 to hold, and I'm looking for a continuation to hold the top of the cloud here. If we do get a move higher, we can look for potential resistance up here at where the Chikou runs into the bottom of this candle at approximately 46.8550. Moving on to, let's look at the Russell. The Russell, unlike the other indexes that you, or unlike I should say, unlike the ES and the NASDAQ, because CL was also not above the cloud, neutral inside the cloud, but TF is actually still under the cloud, so technically TF is still bullish. We see that we put in a very bullish bounce off the Tenkan Sen. I would expect for this week that we could potentially find resistance at the cloud here. That's going to be at the 1181.90, 1182 area. Oh, sorry, that's the top of the cloud. The bottom of the cloud is at the 1170.20 area, thereabouts. If we do get a move to the downside, we can look at that 1111.10 area to potentially hold as support at that Tenkan Sen here. And that's about it for the Russell. Let's go to the Dow. Dow, after losing Tenkan Sen support last week and putting in a doji type candle, we did see a trend reversal to the upside, confirmed with a higher high and a higher low, and we did close above the Tenkan Sen. So we are overall fully bullish in Ichimoku terms on the Dow. Let's move along to gold. Very interesting chart on gold. Gold has been looking bullish since it put in a close. It has been looking it's been looking bullish since it broke over the cloud here in last February, but it's been looking more and more bearish as it has lost this Tenkan Sen on two closes. It's not actually bearish, of course. because it's still bullish as it is over the cloud, and we'll come into cloud support. Let's see, this week we'll be at 1176.60. So that is the downside target that I would be looking for gold. Or we could go a little bit lower to the Kijun Sen at 1175.70. We do have the Chikou here finding support inside the cloud, so it's possible we could get a bounce here, maybe some sideways motion in this area. And then the cloud tends to descend here. That's probably near this twist in the cloud. So if we do come down and test the top of the cloud here, I'd be very careful going into the August-September area. This is a very thin support for gold, and we could actually fall through the cloud again. That's just one possibility. Let's look at silver. We see that silver came up and tested this level. That was actually where the Chikou hit the top of the cloud, I mentioned, and then came down and tried to find support inside the cloud here, and then that failed, and the Chikou closed under the cloud here. But current price action is actually closed right above the cloud. It tested slightly inside the cloud and closed right above. Let me zoom in so you can see this. So we do have continued support at the cloud for silver, and silver is still technically bullish, although we did get a close under the Tenkan Sen, so not fully bullish. The cloud support for gold this week, for silver this week, is around 16.15.5, and you may notice that if you were trading silver last week that the 16.16 level was a solid bounce area, which repeated on 2 occasions at least. If we do get a move lower into the cloud, we can expect potential for the Kijun Sen to hold at 15.84, and if that does not hold it, then we're looking at the bottom of the cloud levels, perhaps down as far as let's say 15.10 area. Let's look at some bonds. This is the 30-year ZB. 30-year has been in a very tight consolidation pattern range, price action between 161 thereabouts and something like 167.15 thereabouts. We did have some spike over that level, but let's call it 166.15, 166.18 thereabouts. So we even have a tighter consolidation range currently between the Tenkan Sen here and at 164.02 and the Kijun Sen down here at 161.03. So I think it's possible we could either test the Tenkan Sen up there at 164.02 or the Kijun Sen down here at 161.03. But each one will provide either support or resistance potentially. And I'm not really sure which is more likely, really, to be honest. All right, let's look at ZN. ZN is, I had been drawing this triangle for a while on shorter time frames, I think on maybe the 4-hour, and we actually did break down through the triangle. But, however, on this time frame, the weekly time frame, we are, let me hide my drawings. On this time frame, we are holding the Kijun Sen down here at 129.050. I don't think that we quite tested it. The low is 129.070, so we could retest that low at 129.050. I would be cautious of a bounce there if I was bearish on the 10-year. If we do get a move higher, in fact, if this doji type candle is the potential reversal candle, we'd need to confirm that by a higher high and a higher low. And we do have resistance up here at the Tenkan Sen at 130.040. So keep an eye on that level as we are moving, if we do move higher. And below the Kijun Sen level at 129.050, we have plenty of space before some obvious prior resistance down here at around 128.100, and then the cloud down here at 127.26, 260. Okay, let's look at the dollar. Dollar's been holding the cloud after this selling occurred, and then this bounce from underneath the cloud, and we burst back into the cloud. Let me zoom in a little bit. And the last two weekly candles have closed inside the cloud, inside this range between the Tenkan Sen down here at 94.15 and the Kijun Sen up here at 96.24. It looks like the uptrend is perfectly healthy and intact. Not really any signs of it reversing here. I wouldn't be surprised to see a test of the 96.24 level ahead. And then potentially, if we do even get a move higher than that, maybe the top of the cloud up here at 94.30. Let's look at the yen. It's really been quite important to be watching the yen lately, and if you don't watch it, I seriously suggest that you do. This product is the yen futures contract, 6J. So we see that the yen has been in a downtrend after this very bullish week at the end of April. Put in a potential reversal candle, which was confirmed by a lower high and a lower low on this candle, but that candle did happen to hold the Tenkan Sen on a closing basis. Then we had a candle that actually broke through and closed underneath the Tenkan Sen, and now we have another candle that tried to retest above the Tenkan Sen and put in a close underneath. So we're looking at a potential range of between the high Tenkan Sen area at 0.0091443, and then we can see that the Chikou over here, this red line, is going to come into contact with the cloud here, the top of the cloud here around 00894, maybe slightly higher than that, maybe 00895, something like that. And so we could find some support there, or we could come down and potentially test the 0.00877703 Kijun Sen level. That would be a really strong move. I'm not necessarily expecting that to happen this week. That's just a possibility if we do continue to be in a downtrend on the yen. Let's look at the Nikkei. Nikkei still bearish under the cloud, but in a nice uptrend. A little bit of a topping tail on this candle last week, but and we do have some prior selling in this area around let's say 170. Let's say 17,210. Let's say, but then we do have resistance of the Kijun Sen at 17,430. Then we have the cloud way up here, but let's just look at the Kijun Sen for now. If we get to put in a close over the Kijun Sen, we can talk about the cloud next week. And I'm going to leave it at that. Good luck trading this week. If you're interested in learning more about Ichimoku, feel free to hit me up in. You're welcome to hit me up in the comments section here on YouTube. You can talk to me on Twitter. Shoot me an email at cloudchartist@gmail.com or visit my website, cloudchartist.com. That's it. Take care. Have a good rest of your weekend.